everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. My name's Acacia. Today I'm going to be doing the TBR tag, which I saw on Amy Poole's channel. I will link her channel down below in the description box, and I hope you guys will go check out her channel. It's smaller, it's new, but it's a pretty good channel, and I'm really enjoying watching her videos. So let's dive in. How do I keep track of my TBR books? I keep track of them via Goodreads. I have a TBR pile, but I also have my own. I have a list on my Goodreads account of all the books I own, so I can keep track of what is read and unread. I also separate my books by read and unread on my shelves, so I can see physically what it is that I haven't read, and that makes it a lot easier for me. Is my TBR mostly e-reader or print? It is all print. I don't do e-reader. I did NetGalley for about 6 months, and I did fine with it. I was able to keep up with all the requests I put in and was approved for, and I did read all of those, but I didn't review them on my channel. I didn't track them on my Goodreads. I just didn't find them as fulfilling and official. I didn't find them as, I didn't like it. I didn't like reading e-readers, so I am print fully. I think maybe every once in a while I will accept a PDF or an e-reader style Kindle format book from a publisher, and I read it, and then I request afterwards that they send me a physical copy, because I don't review or talk about books that I read in e-reader format. How do you determine what book to read next? I go between a few different things. So one of the ways I do it is books that publishers have sent me. I try and focus on those and pick those up as often as possible. I am a mood reader, so I do pick up books based on what I feel like and what I'm really in the mood for. But with the publisher books, I really try and pick those up first and read those as quickly as I can. Usually I can get through them in about 24 to 48 hours, and it makes it pretty easy, but I sometimes get sidetracked and don't keep up with all the publisher books, so it can be a problem, but I do try and focus on the publisher books as often as possible. What book has been on your TBR the longest? And that would be Amy Poehler, Yes Please, and I really should read this. I got this for Christmas, I think the year that I started BookTube, so 2 years ago at this point. I think it might be 3 years ago. It might have been actually before I started BookTube. I'm not sure. You can also see that on my Goodreads account, this is one of the first books on my TBR shelf that comes up. So this has been on my TBR the longest. What book has recently been added to your TBR? And that would be Eat Only When You're Hungry, and this is by Lindsay Hunter, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and they've discussed it as a book that is really honest on the depiction of addiction and food eating and obesity, and I am really curious about this. Plus, I had a subscriber recently ask me whether or not I found any books for male perspectives that talk about obesity and eating disorders, and I thought that this would be one that I might be able to find some and recommend to that subscriber. So we shall see once I read that. I'm very excited about reading that, and I might read it kind of soon. I did request it from the publisher, but I never heard back, so I picked it up myself. A book on the TBR that is based on the cover solely. That didn't come out right, but you know what the question is. Show us a book from your TBR that you bought because of the cover. This is The Bear and the Nightingale, and it's by Catherine Arden and Arden? Yeah, Catherine Arden. And I saw the cover, I was obsessed with the cover, I picked it up because of the cover, and then the inside of it was really just a bonus. It is a fairy tale sort of esque mythology from Russia. I am very excited about this book. I haven't picked it up yet, but the cover definitely drew me in and was the reason that I picked it up in the first place. A book on my TBR I will never actually read, and that would be Isaac Asimov, The Gods Themselves, and I'm I'm never going to read this. It needs to go into my unhaul pile, which is massive, by the way. I went through my unhaul pile. I went through all my books recently, and there's about 50 books I'm getting rid of. It's insane. And I think I'm going to add this to that pile because I don't think I'll ever read this unless someone can give me a reason to read it. An unpublished book that you are excited about from your TBR, and that is Norma, and it's by Sophie Oxane, and this is translated from the Finnish, and I believe it's from the Finnish. Yeah, translated from the Finnish. And I am just really excited to read this. I've heard it's sort of magical realism-y sort of style, darkish kind of story, so I'm very intrigued. A book on my TBR everyone seems to have read, and that would be Geek Love by Katherine Dunn. This is, well, it's damaged, first of all, which makes me a little sad, but I do love this cover. I had the newer cover, but then I found this used copy, and I just adored the cover, and I couldn't help but pick this one up. So, yeah, Katherine Dunn's Geek Love. Everyone has read this, and I have not yet, and I know it's one that I'm going to love. Probably another 5-star prediction, but this will be on another list for that once I've finished the other ones. A book on my TBR everyone recommends to me, and that would be Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. This is an essay collection. I've read about half of these essays, maybe a few more than that, and I really enjoy them, and I really enjoy her writing. I finished her memoir, Hunger, and I really adored it, but I just haven't finished this collection, and I think I've rated it, which is ridiculous, but I know that I've loved everything so far. I just haven't finished it, which is super silly. But a lot of people have recommended that to me. A lot of them. And then a book on your TBR you're dying to read. And that would be If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. And this one I am waiting until the fall. I am waiting. I am like holding my breath for the fall to happen so that I can read. I'm waiting until the fall just because I'm such a fall girl and I really have so many books that are fall TBR style, and I want that colder bite to it. I want to smell some candles and some twinkle lights, and I don't want to smell the twinkle lights. I just want to have them. You know what I mean. I just want fall. I just want fall to happen. I'm so antsy for fall. But yes. And then my last question is, how many books do you have on your TBR shelf? I went through and I counted, and I have 359 books on my TBR shelf. No shame. No shame at all. So I tag Getting Hygge with it and the restricted section, and I will link both their channels down below in my description box, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!